In the late 1800s, a British scientist named Francis Galton began doing something strange with faces. He took photographs of different people, lined them up by the eyes, and layered them on top of each other to create what he called composite portraits. Criminals, families, soldiers, entire groups of people blended together into one face. Galton believed that by averaging faces, he might reveal hidden types of people: a criminal face, a family face, a face behind the faces. The uncanny part is that some of these faces did not look monstrous or strange. They looked familiar. Not like one specific person, but someone you might know. Like a face you might pass in a grocery store and feel, for half a second, do I know them? Which raises a strange question. If many faces can be averaged into one familiar-looking face, how many faces are there really? At some point, with billions of humans alive and billions already gone, do we start repeating? Will we ever run out of faces? Every human face is different. Even identical twins who can share nearly the same DNA are not perfect copies. If two faces have to be identical down to every pore, eyelash, freckle, scar, wrinkle, and tiny asymmetry, then we're probably not running out anytime soon. But if two faces only need to be similar enough that a stranger pauses and thinks, "Do I know you from somewhere?" then we may have been running out of faces for a long time. This is why doppelgangers are so unsettling. They're near matches, enough resemblance that your brain recognizes a pattern before it can explain it. The word doppelganger comes from German and it means something like double walker. In folklore, seeing your double was often treated as an omen. Your face is supposed to be the public proof of you. It's the part of you the world recognizes first. So when that face appears somewhere else, even imperfectly, it feels like reality has reused a file. And our brains are built to notice faces. We see them in clouds, cliffs, shadows, outlets, tree bark, the front of cars. This tendency is called pareidolia, seeing meaningful patterns where there may not actually be any. Faces especially are easy for the brain to find, because for a social species like ourselves, faces matter. A face tells you who's present, who's angry, who's familiar. And history makes this feel even stranger, because faces from the past often look way more familiar than we expect. In Roman Egypt, around 2,000 years ago, people painted realistic portraits on wooden panels and attached them to mummies. These Fayum mummy portraits still survive, and many of them look modern. Their faces, they look like how ours do today. And humans have been making faces for a very long time. Over 100 billion people are estimated to have lived and died. That means the world has already produced more faces than any single mind could imagine clearly. But our brains do not store all faces equally. Research suggests that the average person can recognize around 5,000 faces, which is a lot. But compared to the number of faces you've actually seen, we're talking online, in crowds, in movies, on TV, it's almost nothing. So maybe the limit is not in biology. Maybe it's in memory. Your brain doesn't remember every face. It compresses them. It groups them. A stranger can look like someone from high school, even if you can't say who. An actor can look like two other actors combined. We don't see faces as isolated objects. We see them through every other face we've ever stored. That may be why average faces can look oddly familiar. Galton noticed that his composite faces could appear smoother, more regular, even more pleasing than the individual faces that created them. Later research on facial attractiveness also explored this idea of averageness, that a face close to the average of many faces can feel familiar and easy for the brain to process, because a face can be average and unique at the same time. You can be biologically one of a kind and still have a face that reminds someone of 3 other people. And then of course, there's AI. We can now generate faces of people who never existed. Realistic faces with no soul. They look like someone, but they are no one. And in a way, that means the internet is filling with faces we can recognize without anyone actually being there. So when will we run out of faces? In the strictest sense, probably never. There are way too many subtle variations. Biology isn't working from a small deck of cards. It's working from a system so complex that repetition at that exact level is almost impossible. But in the human sense, we run out of faces constantly. We see people who look familiar. We mistake one person for another. We reduce faces into types, categories, and almosts. Liked what your weird brain just learned? Hit subscribe. If not, that's okay. I'll just call this face disappointment.